So you want to get into journaling? I'm guessing that's why you've clicked on this video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Charlotte. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We're so excited to have you on this channel. Yeah, so today we are going to be talking all about journaling. Journaling is something I absolutely love, like love. It always massively helps my mental health. It makes me feel good inside, and there are so many different benefits to journaling. Improved self-confidence is one of them. I believe like higher IQ, like it's actually insane. Let me do a quick Google search because there's definitely some insane benefits to journaling. So it helps to reduce stress, may boost mood and well-being, encourages space from negative thoughts. Journaling provides a way to process your emotions. Journaling can help you figure out your next step. Journaling deepens self-discovery. So I basically thought today we would just talk all about journaling, how you can get started, the different kinds of journaling, because I think it can be something that is really overwhelming. Like when you look on Pinterest, a lot comes up. You have people that do more very like arty journaling, and there's all drawings and all of the pages are just gorgeous, and then you're like, oh my god, I don't think I can start this because this is like a commitment. Or like maybe you don't feel like you're a creative person, you just, that idea is really overwhelming to you. But then also on the flip side, you might be someone that like maybe you don't feel very good with words, so the idea of just writing feels really alien to you. So I thought I would just basically talk about all the different ways that you can get started, the ways that we can find a way of journaling that works for us. So let's just jump straight into things. So I'm going to start with my favourite style of journaling, and my favourite style is just stream of consciousness. So I have my first ever journal here and my current journal. So I currently use the Life Happens For Me journal from Rise and Conquer. And the one thing that I do really like about this is the fact that it has prompts in here. So this is a really good one for getting started with journaling because you have all of these prompts, so you have some kind of guidance, because a prompt is definitely something that is super helpful for when you're starting with journaling and you're not really sure what to say. I think the more you are doing it and the more you get into it, the more you can just write. But I also think sometimes, like if we're journaling and maybe we are just in a really positive stage, it can be really hard to figure out what to write. Journaling can be really easily when shit hits the fan and you're not feeling the best, but when things are feeling good, it can be quite hard to then journal and write about those emotions because you're like, I don't really have anything to say. So that is what is really handy about this one, having the prompts built in, especially because it means I don't need to go on my phone, because the other place that you can find really good journal prompts is Pinterest. If you just search on Pinterest journal prompts for if there's like anything that you want to journal about, it'll come up with so many different topics. So you may want to do something for some journaling for self-discovery. I think when you first get started with journaling for self-discovery is a really good thing to do. And this is also where you then kind of go into the different sections of why you might be journaling. So the Life Happens For Me journal is more of a manifesting journal. So a lot of the questions in here are always coming back to manifesting and your goals. One thing that I like to say when it comes to manifesting is, for me, it's all more about just constantly and consciously thinking about my goals, as opposed to like thinking something is going to happen out of thin air. So this really allows me to keep focusing and keep thinking about my goals, which is really helpful. But if maybe you are in a place right now where actually you just feel like there's a lot that you want to work through, then maybe going for a plain journal like this one. This is just a random notebook. It's like one of the one of, is it going to focus? One of those bad boys. I don't know if you would be able to see that because it's like embossed. And basically like it is just a plain notebook, and I would just write 3 things that I was grateful for, and then like a stream of consciousness. Sometimes I would find a prompt, other times just a stream of consciousness. So this is another one where it's like, if you, because when I started this journal I wasn't going through the best time, and that's why just having a stream of consciousness worked really well. Another way you can journal is like bullet journaling, which is how I started this journal. Let me find a page that isn't broken. So I always did like, oh my god, that page is fallen out. I did like a week spread, and I basically, when I was bullet journaling, I would combine like my planner basically with my journal, which as time went on and had more stuff on. This was during lockdown. I just like hadn't finished uni, but I'd finished uni for second year. I didn't have a huge amount on, so I would lay it out like this, and it would basically, I had 3 things I was grateful for, 3 things challenging me, and then I do a daily reflection, and then I'd rate myself how I was feeling on happiness, health, energy, productivity, and then I give myself a little quote. And this is definitely like a really nice way of journaling, depending how you're doing at that time. And how much time you have, because this is another thing with journaling. There are some ways that are going to be more time consuming than others. So the main things that I think that you want to think about when you're getting into journaling is, how much time do I have to be doing this? Is this something that I need to spend kind of 10 to 15 minutes on, if that, in the morning, and that's me done for the day or evening? Or is this something that actually I want to let my creative side out and I want to spend more time doing it, and it doesn't matter to me if I don't do it a daily thing, it's more of like a hobbying thing. And then from there you can kind of pick what style of journal. You then also want to think about why you want to journal. Is it because you're dealing with a lot of negative emotions at the moment and you need to work through those, whether that be through keeping a gratitude log, which is really, really important if you are struggling, trying to find the good in little things, is super, super helpful. Or it could be that you really need to do some self-reflection. You're like, I don't really know who I am, and you want to make it much more focused on like self-discovery. So always think, like, when you are first going to get into it, just thinking about those ideas. If you are feeling really overwhelmed by the idea of journaling and you're like, I have no idea where to start whatsoever, then something like this might be really helpful. So this is a wellness journal from, I think I got it from Sainsbury's. Let me find a plain page. And basically everything is all laid out for you. So you have kind of today's intentions, you've got how you slept, your meals, water, today you're grateful for, the activities, thoughts and feelings, and then the self-care you did. And there's so many different iterations of these. I have another one, but I don't know where it is. But yeah, you can get these kind of ones from so many different places. So if you are feeling overwhelmed and you're like, I want to start getting my thoughts and feelings down, but like the idea of writing in a plain notebook feels a bit scary, or to be fair, like the Rise and Conquer one, most of it is a plain notebook. Like you get weekly like reflections, but most of it is just like this. So it is quite similar to just writing in a plain notebook. You also get monthly reflections actually, but then you do get kind of questions at the beginning that set out more of a manifesting journey. So this is more definitely like a manifesting journal, but obviously it's plain paper, you can use it for whatever you want in some ways, but you will always come back to the whole manifesting thing. So if you just want to write your thoughts and feelings, just a plain notebook like this is really good. I really like these notebooks and I really liked having the dotted lines in it. I don't know why. And then if you are feeling overwhelmed and just wanting to get started, these ones are definitely a really, really good place to start. And then the other kind of ways that you can journal is, like I said before, you can do it more of like a scrapbook, which obviously if you're more of like creative person, it's something you're willing to spend a bit more time on, that is a really, really good way to do it. When you first start journaling, it might be something that is really, really difficult. It might feel hard to kind of put thoughts that you have never put on paper. So again, coming back to prompts is definitely where those are really, really helpful to get those prompts. Oh, another good kind of like journal that sets it all up for you is the 5-minute one. That is very basic. There isn't any room to do any kind of like streams of consciousness writing, just like writing down what you're thinking. It is very much like gratitude, intentions, and affirmations. Like it's very basic. So depending what you're wanting, that is another good one to go for. I would definitely recommend, like if you are just getting started and you've never done anything like this before, going for something with a bit more structure, just so that it isn't as overwhelming, because if you get overwhelmed, you're not going to do it. So we want to avoid that. So picking up something like that is really, really helpful. Obviously, as I said before, Pinterest is a really good place to find prompts, but we don't want to always having to be looking on Pinterest and then doom scrolling to find prompts, because that is not going to be a productive use of our time. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to say on this. Okay, so you've picked out your journal, you've picked out on what kind of journaling you're going to do. How can you create like a good environment, and how can you deal with the whole like the way of letting the thoughts just pass through and putting them down? So I will always say I think it's best to do, it depends on the style of journaling. The style of journaling I like to do is stream of consciousness. I like to do that in somewhere that is quiet and private because it gets deep. Sometimes I'll start writing and I'm crying because I'm like, oh, I've tapped into something that I am scared of, or it can be quite big, especially when you're kind of doing more like self-discovery journaling and things like that. So definitely somewhere private, somewhere that feels comfortable as well. So a nice clean space, light a candle, make it nice and cozy. Even if I'm journaling of a morning, I normally put a candle on next to me and I just make it a space where I want to be. And I think that is one of the most important parts. You want to create a space where you feel very comfortable, very welcome, so that you can let the thoughts kind of pass through and put them down. Because letting the thoughts pass through is another thing that is really, really important about journaling. You have to acknowledge them and think about like what it is about them that is, obviously it depends like what you're journaling for, but like say you're feeling really anxious about something and you want to get down everything about that, you have to consciously think about those thoughts. So you do want to make sure that it is like a comforting place, because sometimes like you can tap into things that are like, oh, a little bit hard. But I think that kind of wraps this video up. Hopefully this has been helpful and hopefully you've enjoyed this. I definitely did just waffle, but I do like talking about channeling and I definitely think it's something everyone should be doing. So thank you for watching and I will speak to you soon.